So this is it. This will be the stream that I either lose or I get the world record. There's 14 wins away. And I think it's been quite a large effort to get this far. Not necessarily the loss, but just the aim of staying in a state of concentration that I don't slip up. I think what makes a castle harder than the tower is the fact that you have to scout out ahead of the opponent. That means that almost half the time spent on the streak has been spent outside of battle, and it's very easy to make a mismanagement error. But I thought I'd start this stream off talking about the team a bit. I will write more about this in the write-up on the forum. Even if I don't get the world record today, I'll write about it. So we'll start with Garchomp. Garchomp is an important team member. It functions a little bit like a revenge Scarfer in that a lot of the risk that this team takes on in the other two Pokemon are things that Garchomp can fix by just being able to switch in after something faints and take it out with Outrage or an Earthquake. The magic of Garchomp in Generation 3 is just how many things faint to Outrage and Earthquake, particularly at +1, or i.e. with a Choice Band equipped. Garchomp just takes out so much of the frontier. It's a bit silly. Substitute is a move that adds a lot of depth to the Garchomp strategy too. There are quite a lot of Pokemon in the frontier that can't break Garchomp sub, and anything slower than Garchomp I can substitute 3 times and come down to 46 HP, which will allow me to activate Slack or Lychee Berries. That's a bit like having a Choice Band or a Choice Scarf, but you can switch between the moves. Garchomp isn't perfect, but the electric immunity is really nice. There are electric trainers that appear in the frontier, and Garchomp almost gets a free win against those. It's very similar with the fire trainers. The one thing I wish Garchomp could do, which would be really nice, would be to be immune to one other attack, or to be slightly more solid in terms of having a move that can't miss. So something we have to do with Garchomp is Pokemon like Machamp and Leafeon, we do have to sometimes skip these if they're in the lead position. To talk about Garchomp's stats for a second, we are running Jolly with 168 speed. So that's not max speed, it's 1 off max speed. We don't need max speed because the only thing that sits at 169 is another Garchomp, and we don't want a speed tie. I'm never going to risk a speed tie of another Garchomp. 167 is Jolly base 100, and it's also neutral base 100 if I raise into level 55. So for example, a neutral Salamence Garchomp will still outspeed it and will take it out with Outrage. So we outspeed a huge amount of the frontier with just 168 speed. I've gone max attack, which I think is pretty much self-explanatory. The real question about this set, and something I've thought in the past, is that we're running 4 EVs in HP defense and special defense. At the time of training this, I was thinking that the reason I want this is because I can just substitute 3 times and activate a berry. And after I activate the berry, I'd still be above 25%, so I'm still outside of things like Scizz or Quick Attack. I do slightly regret this though. I think it would have been better to go 185 HP, which means I can substitute 4 times. It's slightly better against Pokemon where I'm either fishing for a miss, fishing for a status move, which the AI might use when it's slower, or, and this is not as rare as I thought it would be, sometimes I just need Garchomp to waste 5 PP. So 4 substitutes and then 1 HP. That would take out the 5 PP of a few Choice Band and Choice Spec sets, which would be nice. The major thing Garchomp could have been was Salamence. But the problem with Salamence is that Salamence has to run, to justify Salamence, I think I have to run Aerial Ace. and then I either have to give up Dragon Dance or Substitute. It'd probably be Substitute. I'd probably be running Outrage, Earthquake, Aerial Ace, Dragon Dance on Salamence, which is a fine set. It's just that Substitute is such an incredible move in the Frontier because the AI is just completely blind to it. It doesn't understand how Substitute works. And also, it takes 2 turns, obviously, for Salamence to get to +2. In that time, Guardian could get to +4. And it's been well established in the tower how +4 Jolly Garchomp just takes out everything. I guess we'll speak a little bit about Blissey too. So this Blissey, the main, obviously running bold max defense, I think that's self-explanatory. It's important to remember actually that with bold max defense, Blissey is not actually physically frail. It can take a physical hit really well. It's got, I always use the example of it's actually more bulky than Swampert is, unless you invest quite heavy into Swampert's physical bulk. So there are a lot of Pokemon that actually can't take out Blissey, even if they're physical attackers. The big tech on Blissey is the fact that we're running 101 speed, which is huge. This is obviously faster than base 80s at level 50, and that makes a very big difference. We're not only outspeeding a load of Pokemon that will have Oko moves, but we're also outspeeding things like Gardevoir, which is surprisingly relevant because it's easy to imagine how Gardevoir can come in against Blissey, or Blissey can come in against Gardevoir. And if Psychic gets a Spadef drop, then Blissey can be put in a position where it could potentially lose this 1v1, especially if Gardevoir has a boosting move, has a recovery move, or has a move that can inflict a status on Blissey. By being faster and having a substitute available, we can dodge all of these problems. So Blissey is very fast and runs 337 HP, which gives it, with leftovers recovery, it means that Blissey can use substitute 5 times in a row before it would have to heal. So it essentially can sit there for 6 turns. And if we're sitting there with 6 turns with evasion up, suddenly we're talking about a Blissey set that actually beats physical attackers. So things like close combat Lucario, so long as we're behind a substitute already, Blissey will actually beat it. Because it only has 5 close combat PP. Even if all 5 of them land, on the 5th turn, I would be using Soft Boiled and bringing myself out of range of Earthquake or whatever the next move is. So this Blissey set I think is incredible. I also really like Seismic Toss because with Seismic Toss we're in complete control of when we kill the opponent. What we really don't want to have happen is we can imagine that we could be running like a Toxic Blissey set. It can be a lot harder to time Toxic to kill the opponent when we want to. So let's say the opponent is Trick Room or something. We really wouldn't want Trick Room to still be up when a potential Pokemon in the back comes in. Well, with Seismic Toss, we'll never KO unless we want to. Another thing that Seismic Toss does is that it means that we can very carefully control making sure we have Substitute up and we're at enough evasion to win. Soft Boiled isn't too important, and then Minimize is obviously the crux move of the set where with evasion boost it becomes so hard to kill Blissey, especially fast Blissey, as I said before. It's really, really difficult to take this Blissey out. Minimize, more than anything else though, serves as a way to buffer the PP on Soft Boiled and Substitute. So there's a lot of enemies, and again, I use Psychic types as an example. If they're a strong Psychic type, maybe they got Choice Specs or something, or maybe they're just a high special attack base with Modest. We would have to Soft Boiled, Soft Boiled, and so on. If we can put a Minimize in there, suddenly we don't have to use as many substitutes or as many Soft Boileds, and this just buffers Blissey's PP for future fights. And because in Castle you have to pay to heal the PP, that is very nice. And then I suppose the magic of the team, really, I think, is this Lapras, which has been way better than... I knew it would be good when I was designing the set, but it's been so much better than I thought it would be. Just because how incredible Shell Armor is. We are running max defense, which seems a bit strange maybe with Curse, but what we can do, what this Lapras can do and has done so many times in the streak, is Lapras can switch into a Stab Earthquake, Curse, get hit by a Stab Stone Edge, get hit by another Stab Stone Edge, and survive every single time and use Rest. And the second we have that happen, we'll be outside of the free hit KO range for a Stab Stone Edge. So that kind of bulk is just unbelievable. It really is incredible what this Lapras can survive. And we're not even giving up that much special bulk. Like 229 1-2-1 on the special side, that's fine. That's enough that we do not faint to most stab super effective special moves. Which can sometimes matter because we can imagine that often Lapras is going to be behind a substitute and at +6 attack. So we'll get one attack off for free with Ice Shard against a fast special attacker. If the fast special attacker can't KO Lapras on the next hit, then we get another Ice Shard off, and then we get a third Ice Shard off. And almost everything will faint to 3 Ice Shards, unless it's sort of something that would obviously survive. Yeah, so 108 attack, Ice Shard actually hits surprisingly hard. And Ice Shard does a load of amazing things. One of the things that Ice Shard does, which is just so incredible, is we just completely ignore priority tiers. So we never have to worry about, oh no, is Quick Claw going to activate? Another thing we can do is we can offset the speed disadvantage, so we can go slower with sub. So that moves like Payback don't get boosted up, and then with Ice Shard we can make sure we go first. This also plays around things like Spite or Encore, where if we alternate between Curse and Ice Shard, we'll never give them a chance to Encore any move that isn't Ice Shard. So we never get locked into that. And then probably the biggest factor on Ice Shard is simply the fact that Ice Shard has 48 PP, which is just easy enough to stall out enemies. So this Lapras has 96 PP overall, which is more PP than any Pokemon in the Frontier. There are a few matchups which are slight nightmares, so Regice, Walrein, and so on, where we will just be waiting for them to struggle, but that's fine. Because Lapras is still bulletproof against that. Lapras is also perfectly happy, and it should be obvious with Shell Armor, but the main point of Shell Armor is that we're perfectly happy to switch in to a Dragon Dancing Salamence or something and just use Curse in front of it, because we can never get crit. We're no risk of dying to someone with some way to boost its attack, which is incredible. Lapras would, in other metas, sort of castle metas if it made sense, it would be more vulnerable to something like Swords Dance Pokemon, which can boost its attack far faster. And indeed, we do have to be careful in this team about how quickly Lapras can come in. If Lapras can't come in guaranteed, for example, the classic one is Garchomp is locked into Outrage, we don't know if it's a 2 or 3 turn, Lapras can be in trouble then. We wouldn't want to give something 2 attack boosts before we start to get cursing. That is the sort of thing that can overpower Lapras, and a few other things can overpower Lapras as well, which is sort of the obvious stuff. It's things like very strong stab Stone Edge from something like Rhydon. We couldn't just like come into that easily. But Lapras's huge defense is really important for its ability to switch in. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough preamble. We'll go for the record now. I'm not too nervous. As has been said, I guess I'll give a brief overview of how the castle works as well. Since this is the 1000 run, this is the record-breaking video probably, hopefully. The way that castle works is that we get given points. You can get points for winning matches, and you can spend points on various things. So one of the biggest you can spend points on is you can just choose to pass. It costs 50 points, which is really expensive, and you don't get any points in winning. But you can just skip any battle. The other thing you can do is you heal. So the castle does not heal you between fights. The only thing it does is heal status. So it heals, if you faint, it heals you to 1 HP, and if you are sleeping or poisoned or paralyzed, it heals that as well. You have to spend points though to actually heal. So for example, healing HP is 10, healing PP is 8, and then you can heal both, and that's 12. Another thing that you can do in a castle is you can rent. So there's a load of berries, and to be honest, in terms of relative value, I can say that these berries are very well priced. It's particularly Lum and Citrus, being only 5 castle points. That's really, really cheap. These resist berries are sort of okay. I think it's difficult to get value out of these, because if you were worried about fainting to an attack, you'd probably be equipping a Focus Sash, which is also in here. Not every single item you can think of is in here. So for example, Black Sludge is not in here, but a lot of items are. The ones that we want, obviously, we want Leftovers for Lapras and Blissey, just because it makes such a massive difference to how bulky they are. And it just guarantees that they basically can't lose prolonged stall wars. Garchomp's item is unset. I like to leave it unset. The most common item Garchomp takes is by far Choice Band, but in theory there are a lot of items that could be put on Garchomp, from Focus Sash to Lumberry to Lychee Berry to Slackberry to Choice Scarf. Quite often Garchomp rocks with no item. We can get Persianberry to heal Confusion from Outrage. We might even like equip like a Chesto Berry or something if that pops up. And then the other thing we can do is we can scout the opponent that's coming up. So this check button, actually, you know what, I can show it because we're ahead on points. This check button will just reveal the species of the Pokemon. So it reveals that we're fighting against a Floatzel. We don't know which Floatzel. To do that, we would have to look up its summary or its moves. What I've been doing throughout the whole streak is I just look up the summary, because in almost all cases, looking up the summary just directly tells you what the Pokemon is. So this is Floatzel 2. No, it's not, it's Float. Sorry, I've misclicked this. This is Floatzel 4. That was embarrassing. This is Floatzel 4 with the Razor Fang. So because it's Floatzel 4, I actually know what its moves are. Yeah, exactly, Alfie. So there were a few cases where if we look at just the status, so we'll do it on this one, we'll look at just the status. Sometimes it doesn't always tell us. Most of the time it does, but there are a few Pokemon with overlaps where they have the same stats and the same nature, ability, and item combination. Marek is a good example of that. There's also Machamp, Empoleon, Entei 3-4, Ambipom 3-4. These all look identical on the stats screen. So if we wanted to find out what they were running, we would have to go here and click moves. So I'm wasting CP for this, but you know, we've got a lot of CP who can run it. So if we weren't sure what the last one was, we could choose to pay for moves. But paying for stats only costs 2. Check costs 1, stats cost 2, moves cost 5. So we could, by just spending 2, we can almost always work out the entire enemy team. I think this is something that Game Freak overlooked when they were designing the factory. Designing the castle. They probably didn't appreciate how easy it is to just recognize things by having a ridiculous sort of photographic memory of all the towers, all the sets in the Tower and the Frontier. So I know that, for example, I know that this is Torterra 4, and I know that this is Skuntank 4. Did you check them on in set 3? I'm not sure what you mean, Elfie. Sorry. I'm not sure what you mean by it should be cheaper. But yeah, the idea is that most of the time we could spend 6 points to, yeah, checking one costs 1 only. So this costs 1, this costs 5, and checking the stats costs 2. But for 6 CP, which is how much it costs to check all 3 of them on the status screen, we can basically scout the entire enemy team before we even go in. So I've got this drawn up on OBS, Floatzel, Torterra, Skuntank. As well as the fact that I can look up these, I can also notice that a classic one is Floatzel. So because Floatzel has 162 speed, and I know that Floatzel normally would have 167, this means that this Floatzel is a 21 IV set. That's true. Yeah, exactly. So if I can figure out what this enemy set is, then I can work out some of them, perhaps with looking that up only. The complicated factor of that is that sometimes what we call NFE set 2 from the factory, these Pokemon can appear in regular teams. So, for example, like Solrock could just appear in a trainer that has Rock-type Pokemon. It could just be mixed in, and the others wouldn't be NFE set 2. Doesn't guaranteed. Anyway, enough prep. That's a brief overview. The next thing I was going to say is that one last part of the factory is that we can also level up or down opponents, which obviously makes a very big difference to how easily they are taken out. So, for example, if I lowered this Floatzel's level by 5, we'd suddenly go from not being guaranteed to kill it with an Earthquake to it being guaranteed, because at level 45, Garchomp will take it out with Earthquake easily. So we can then do a lot of planning about, and the reason that we'd want to raise the level sometimes is that we get more points from it. So you get 7 more points for each opponent's level that you've raised, which you might want to do. To be honest, it's a bit of a risk at this point because I've played so much over the past 1,000 games by trying to play optimally, raising the levels of the opponents as much as I can, that I'm now sitting at a very high point total. I can be a bit cautious, and I'm going to be a bit cautious in this stream because I don't want to lose like 5 wins away from the record. That would be really silly. In terms of this team, Floatzel is almost no risk whatsoever. I mean, Floatzel can't do anything to Garchomp, and also Lapras can set up on this Floatzel set because it's bad. This Torterra set can be annoying. We would not be able to take this out with a choice band outrage. This Skuntank set is fine. This would also obviously feint to Garchomp's Earthquake. So it's really only Torterra that can be any issue. And I think what we're going to do to simplify the game is that we'll just have Lapras set up against Floatzel. There is a small risk setting up against Floatzel that Brick Break could flinch via the Razor Fang. If it got 3 flinches in a row, Lapras would actually feint to that. So for that reason, we're not going to level up Floatzel. We're just going to leave it at level 50. Torterra, we could, because if Lapras sets up on Floatzel, Lapras will easily win the rest of the game because Torterra and Skuntank are both physical sets. Out of respect for the fact that Floatzel could beat Lapras with an insanely lucky series of flinches, I'm not going to level up Torterra because I do not want to face a level 55 Torterra with Garchomp and Blissey. Even though Garchomp and Blissey are very, very likely to win that, that could backfire. It could definitely backfire. For example, if Torterra got a Quick Claw crit on Garchomp, I could be in trouble. The Skuntank, however, I am going to level up, and the reason I'm going to level this up is because even at level 55, it's still slower than Garchomp, and Garchomp will easily take it out with an Earthquake. I don't even need to equip a choice band for that. So we'll leave it like this. If I was being mega safe, I could level one of these 2 down, but that shouldn't be necessary. We don't need an item on Garchomp. I'm just going to check the other 2 with item, and we'll go in. So how long was that introduction? It was 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes before an actual game started. Nice. So it'll always Ice Fang Garchomp. It's going to use Brick Break here. I'm just going to hope it doesn't get too many flinches in a row. It's already missed 1 opportunity to flinch. It seems overly safe, but I'm now going to rest just because we're not safe until we're at +4. At +4, it won't have enough Brick Break PP to actually take out Lapras anymore. We do not have to fully set up Lapras here because we don't need the boost for Torterra. I'm considering this boosting anyway because if we boost to +6, we'll get a 2-hit KO on the Skuntank, which means I'm less likely to have to... Cheers, Vanty, now. I'm less likely to have to actually heal Lapras between fights then. So there's the Razor Fang flinch. So we'll sub, rest, and we should 3-hit KO this Floatzel, we should OHKO Torterra, and we should 2-hit KO the Skuntank. I'm just going to rest because it's out of Brick Breaks. Well, I might be wrong. Maybe we can 2-hit KO this. Impressive, yeah. The Lapras always slightly surprises me by how much damage it does with Ice Shard, but it's better for me to be underestimating the damage than overestimating, obviously. So that was sort of a classic Lapras win. As a classic example of Lapras, we identified that the lead Pokemon is a physical set that doesn't do too much damage. Lapras gets the +6, and Lapras owns shop. Because we won at full HP, we do not need to heal Lapras. If we hadn't taken the opportunity to actually heal, we would then be healing it. So we're now going to be doing an example of how we can identify these sets without paying for anything apart from the stats. So talking of Lapras, this is actually Lapras 1. So this is funny. This is sort of a small inspiration for the Lapras set that I have. It's also got cursed leftovers. I might have to fight this with Lapras. It is a very cursed matchup. It does take a very long time for that to resolve. We do have to PP stall it. Because it also rolled Shell Armor. If it hadn't rolled Shell Armor, we'd have a small chance, I guess, to crit it to death. But with Shell Armor, it's going to have to be a Lapras mirror. Whoops. Yeah. And this is a Abomasnow free, which is totally fine. Abomasnow free is, well, Abomasnow in general is a bit of a cursed matchup for Garchomp. I know that the Choice Band Outrage doesn't necessarily KO Abomasnow. It does have a small chance of surviving, even though it looks like it doesn't with only 95 base defense. But I know this role. I know that it can survive. And Frostlass 2 is terrible. Anyway, these are 3 ice types. It's an ice type trainer. I'm just taking a moment to consider if there's a way through this that doesn't involve PP stalling the Lapras. I could lower the level of this Lapras and equip a Choice Band and try and echo it with Garchomp. There's a chance it survives. If it does survive, that's okay, because Lapras still wins. I am very tempted to do this, to be honest. It's not optimal, but it does save time. So we're going to drop its level. I'm going to drop its level and see if I can get Garchomp to win this match on its own. So drop its level. Garchomp will need to equip a Choice Band. Garchomp does survive Lapras 1's Ice Shard. It won't survive a crit, but it does survive the regular Ice Shard. And then we will, again, we probably one-shot Abomasnow. It's very favourable for Garchomp to get that roll. Frostlass will never survive unless Focus Band activates. But even if that happens, I'm fine with it, because Lapras easily beats Frostlass. If Abomasnow survives, that's fine, because Blissey is faster than it, and Blissey can just take it out with Seismic Toss after the outrage damage. So yeah, we're going to play this little... It's not reckless, it's just potentially a waste of points. I'm going to pray that Garchomp gets this roll with outrage. Interesting, it didn't use... Okay, it didn't use Ice Shard, but it's not gone for the Ice Shard on +1 either. That's interesting. So it doesn't see a kill at +1. Proves just how bulky Garchomp is. So Abomasnow is completely guaranteed to use Blizzard here. I do not want it to freeze Blissey on the switch in, because then that could be I'd be a bit nervous about that. So we'll go to Lapras first. And it's either going to Energy Ball or Focus Blast. It could do either. It's slightly more likely to Focus Blast because of it's a weird interaction with how damage rounding works in Gen 4. I won't get into it. We would rather see an Energy Ball, obviously. So now what Blissey needs to do is we're going to fish for the Focus Blast PP to go away. So we're just going to sub. That's one Focus Blast and it missed. That's great. That means Blissey's no longer in a risk of being at low health and having to risk that miss. Blizzard is promoted in the AI's internal move selection engine because it can't miss in Blizzard. So even though it's weaker than Focus Blast, it can be used. But again, this is the magic. This is how unfair Blissey is, that the substitute will survive a Blizzard. It's just ridiculous how thick Blissey is. I am very aware that this thing still has Focus Blast PP. I do not want Blissey to get hit by Focus Blast, not because a crit would kill Blissey, but because I do not want Blissey to get a Spadef drop. So this Abomasnow has 90 base HP. That's 197 at level 50. So it does faint to the next seismic toss. So we'll heal Blissey here, so that it's at full health. We don't have to heal it for the next battle. We also get more points for winning with more Pokemon at full health. And this is an easy opportunity for Lapras to heal as it beats this thing. So we can curse twice. Before we go to +3, Frostas won't actually use Psych Up. So we'll curse twice so it doesn't Psych Up. We'll then use Substitute so we don't get hit by Swagger as we're doing this. We'll hit it with Ice Shard. And that should be the end of it. Sucker Punch probably 4-shot the sub. Ice Punch is obviously doing very little. Being hit by Swagger here is fine. So obviously Sucker Punch can't hit us as we rest, so it's completely free to go back up to full HP, win at full, get more points, don't have to worry about healing Lapras. It's been a slow start. There's been 2 games where I've had to stall them out. What does happen quite often is Garchomp can just win the whole game. That's Zapdos 2. And that's Gyarados 1. And this is Drifblim 2. It's the funny set. This is maybe the worst set in the Frontier. This Drifblim set. Is a bit of a joke. Gyarados will obviously survive Choice Band Outrage because of the Intimidate. Zapdos could activate. So what I'm thinking here is that we could remove Garchomp's Choice Band and just Swords Dance on the Zapdos, because we could equip a Persian Berry so that we can faint. And then if we do that, then Garchomp just directly wins. This has even got Unburden, so we won't even get hit by the recoil. So I think we'll actually we're going to remove the item from Garchomp here. I don't think I can send any of these to level 55. I can send a Zapdos to level 55, but I do not want Ominous Wind to get an Omni boost if it's at level 55. Obviously, if it's only at level 50 and it gets the Ominous Wind Omni boost, we should still have a favourable roll to KO it with Outrage, which is fine. So we're not going to level that up. We're not going to risk that, but we're going to remove the item from Garchomp. We're going to give it Persian Berry. It only costs 2 CP. And this is safe because, to be honest, Blissey and Lapras do beat these 3 on their own anyway. It's just that Garchomp wins a bit faster. In fact, we could even sub. I don't think Ominous Wind will even break the sub. But sub is only good if we know it would be activating the Ominous Wind boost. Yeah, so at +1 we'll still take out Gyarados in 1 shot. And Drifblim too. That's nice, that's a much faster win. You don't get points for winning fast, but the amount of points you do get is based on how much PP you use in the match. It's also just less stressful to have a very simple plan that I know is going to work. So this is Houndoom 2, I think, with the Pachoo. And this is Leafeon. Set 3. Is that Machamp? I think it's Machamp 3-4. Machamp 3/4 is a monster. It's got the Quick Claw. It's one of the biggest threats to the team. I can only safely face Machamp if I can set up before it comes out. At least it's not no guard. I could face this. There is a nightmare scenario. Let me just see if it's Machamp 3 or Machamp 4 actually, because they both have the same stats. It is Machamp 3 because it's a set 3 trainer, isn't it? Yeah, these are all set 3. So that's very difficult. I cannot set up Lapras easily here. There is a small chance, well, it's not a chance, it would be guaranteed. I could PP stall Houndoom and then set up Lapras. After enough curse boost, Lapras is not afraid of Machamp anymore. But that is a big PP stall against a Houndoom. So Flamethrower is 15 PP, Houndoom, Shadow Ball is 15 PP, that's 30 in total. Sludge Bomb is 10, that's 40. And Will-O-Wisp is 55 in total. So it'd be 55 turns of stalling. Houndoom would be saving Shadow Ball for the end against Blissey. Houndoom is also faster than Blissey. A burn on Blissey from Will-O-Wisp would be a huge pain to try and solve. I might have to switch out to Lapras or Garchomp doing that, but I can only do that so many times for both of them. So, in essence, I think I have to skip a spell. Because this Machamp is the #1 threat to the team. So we'll just pass. I don't like passing because of how inefficient it is, but I just need to not be reckless. Is this Roserade? No, it's Starmie. Starmie 4. That speed stat. And that's Gallade. It's either Gallade 3 or 4. They both have the same stats. It's this Donphan 4. Donphan 4 is dangerous. It's got Quick Claw Fissure, which can hit all the Pokemon on my team. So I'm going to have to drop Donphan's level if I play this game. Garchomp will need its Choice Band back to beat Starmie reliably. With Choice Band equipped, we also beat Gallade quite easily. And then Donphan, if we fully heal Garchomp, Donphan crit Earthquake won't take it out anyway. And also, if we lower its level, Lapras gets a guaranteed setup, so that's safe. So we'll drop Donphan's level. I think these are Starmie and Donphan are both set 4, so Gallade is more likely to be set 4 than set 3, and set 4 does have close combat. So if Garchomp faints, Gallade 4 is a threat to the team. Because of that, I think I'll need to fully heal Garchomp. It is already fully healed, okay. But I need the Choice Band. So we're going to Choice Band. We're going to Choice Band Earthquake Starmie instead of Choice Band Outrage, since both of them will take it out. And the reason I want to Choice Band Earthquake is because that guarantees that Garchomp doesn't faint to Donphan, because I'm going to switch out of Donphan. I could actually raise the level of this Gallade, but I just don't want to tempt fate. Garchomp would obviously take it out at level 55 with a Choice Band Earthquake, but I don't see the need to bring in a potential loss to a misclick, because Garchomp is the only thing that stops Gallade destroying the team at level 55. So if it, pretty sure Gallade comes in second because of the stab move. So Starmie is psychic, and because Gallade has a psychic move, Psycho Cut, that goes above Earthquake in terms of raw power, Gallade comes in first, yeah. So we can leave Garchomp in here. I mean, Donphan would have to get a Quick Claw crit. Yeah, so it needs to get a Quick Claw crit here. Is it going to do it? No. And we could have gone to Lapras there. Lapras does beat Donphan comfortably with Curse. However, it takes longer. I just need to remember now that Garchomp is at lower HP. This is Sceptile set 3. It's another Pokemon that, while it's faster than Garchomp, it can't OHKO Garchomp with a crit. This is No. Is Blaziken? No, it's not Blaziken, it's too fast. I'm not completely sure which set this is. I think it's Charizard 4 then. Yeah, it must be Charizard 4. That's good. I was worried for a second that it was Infernape when I saw the bright powder, but it's Charizard. This is a starter trainer because the last Pokemon is Meganium 2. If we heal Garchomp, there's no risk from Sceptile. Sceptile can't do anything. Outrage will always KO Sceptile. And a crit Leaf Blade won't take out Garchomp. So we can leave Sceptile at level 50 if we want to. Charizard 4 is faster than Blissey, but we should be at very minimal risk. Again, Focus Blast only has 5 PP. Once it's out of Focus Blast PP, I don't think it would even beat Lapras. It would require multiple Ancient Power boosts. Plus, it's very unlikely to get through Garchomp anyway. And then Meganium 2. I think I might leave it level 50 because if I level it up, it'll be faster than Blissey. Obviously, Blissey beats it anyway. It just takes a while to switch in, switch out. Whereas if I can switch in and be faster and use Substitute, Meganium can't do anything. So I think I'll leave all of these at level 50. I could even drop Sceptile's level. That just protects Garchomp's HP stat slightly. Doesn't seem necessary though. There's no reason to do that. And level down, this costs 15. It's much cheaper to just heal Garchomp than to level it down. It's very possible Garchomp could just win this whole game. Because we will be OHKOing Sceptile and Charizard. The question is Meganium. While Meganium will survive Choice Band Outrage, what can it do back? It's just going to leech. We got the free turn. That's fine. Because we're seeded, I think it's worth saving Garchomp. We do lose points if we let Garchomp faint. Charizard is very likely to use Focus Blast here. I think Focus Blast might even KO Garchomp. If we wanted to be mega safe, we could go Lapras first. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually slightly nervous. I do not want to see Focus Blast crit Blissey here. I guess I can cover against that by using Softboard. What I want to do is go back to Garchomp and get hit. Let Garchomp get hit by the Focus Blast. I then get a free chance to try and outrage this and end the game earlier. But I've taken damage on Blissey if I do that, so I think it's better to just see if Blissey can get through as much as it can. I can't substitute here because if Focus Blast crits, I'll be at too low HP to substitute. But I can substitute now. So that's the third Focus Blast. They've all hit so far. I'll have to stay on Substitute in case this Focus Blast hits. It does. So that's 4 out of 4. Again, this is the magic of leftovers, Substitute. So Charizard hit every single Focus Blast, but it doesn't even matter. It will see a kill on any move here. So it's going to use any move except Blast Burn. Obviously can't use Focus Blast anymore because it's out of PP. And Air Slash will be a 2-hit KO on the sub. I want to minimize and try and win it full. I'm also very aware that I do not want to give this an Ancient Power boost. After an Ancient Power boost, it's faster than Garchomp. And the sort of like the worst possible case scenario, sort of nightmare double Ancient Power boost. I want to try and avoid that. So Blast Burn is now possible that it's run out of its strongest move, which is Focus Blast. So the compromise on this is to bring it down a bit further. We've used up a lot of substitute PP here. We might have to heal Bissy ahead of the next game. Well, I just realised this is about 1,000. It's a small milestone. And we don't get a bright powder mist, that's nice. Nice. Battle 1,000. The 4-digit club now. So this is the last fight of the round. I don't want to have to spend points healing PP, but I might have to. Obviously, between rounds the PP gets restored. This is Hariyama 3. I like seeing that. That's Entei. So this Entei could be set 3 or set 4. I'm going to leave it as Entei 3 for now, because if it's a set 3 trainer, it will be following Hariyama's lead. This is Poliwrath 4, is it? Yes, that's Poliwrath 4. So this could be Entei 3 or 4 then. So Hariyama 3 has Ice Punch. What I would like to do, what I'm often tempted by, is I see this set and I want to go, oh, I can switch to Lapras and come back into Garchomp. But of course, it's not guaranteed to use Thunder Punch on Lapras. It can easily Dynamic Punch Lapras, and Dynamic Punch does way too much into Garchomp. So what we'll have to do to safely take this out is lower its level. I am slightly afraid of Poliwrath. I'm just... It shouldn't happen very often. I'm just slightly afraid of the scenario where Blissey is using Substitute on it and it's just continuously focus punching. I don't want that... I don't want to enter that being like even a remote possibility. So it's painful, but what I'm going to have to do is lower everything's level. I need to lower Hariyama's level so that Outrage can take it out. I need to lower Entei's level so that Outrage can take it out. And I need to lower Poliwrath's level so that even if Outrage doesn't take it out in one shot, it will be in Ice Shard range. So what this means is if it is a 2-turn Outrage and Entei comes out before Poliwrath, I'll have to just sack Blissey, which is fine because it's the last battle of the round anyway. So we sent all these level 45. It's quite expensive to do this. It's cost us 45 CP, but as I've explained, Poliwrath 4 is a Pokemon that is definitely capable of reverse sweeping, particularly if Garchomp gets locked into Outrage or gets a confused self-hit off. I haven't healed Garchomp. It doesn't matter though because it shouldn't be getting hit. So we get a confuse. This could be Entei 4. Entei 4 is much worse than Entei 3 because of the Calm Mind. It still can't beat Garchomp no matter what it does. Okay, Fire Blast is Entei 3 anyway. It can't beat Garchomp because it's slower than Garchomp. And Outrage is too much. We just need to hit it once with Seismic Toss and then Outrage will always... Oh no, it's still 45. It's easily taking too much from Outrage anyway. It's going to be difficult to heal Blissey to full. Solar Beam crit would take out Garchomp. It's annoying. I can't switch to Garchomp on these Solar Beams. I don't care enough about points to use it. So yeah, I would have got more points if I'd used Softboard before attacking there. But we're past the point of caring about a single point in the castle. So yeah. That was a clean round. We're now at 1,001. And keep going. So the record is 1,008. This is the most important round of in terms of it being just unacceptable to lose. People might be wondering why I don't just skip every match until I've got the record. And I think it just goes against the spirit of competition. Like, I'm not chasing records here, I'm just trying to play the castle really well. If I only cared about the record, I would be skipping all of these games, because I can skip over 100 games before I even get close to running out of castle points. So this is Cypher. It's an NFE2 set. Cypher is surprisingly deadly because of the bright powder. And without equipping... The thing is, without equipping Choice Band, we cannot take it out in one shot with Outrage. So what we're probably going to have to do is, if I want to play this battle out, I'll have to give Garchomp wide lens. That means Outrage is 99% accurate, and also drop Cypher's level, which is a painful amount of CP to spend. But Cypher can if Cypher used Sword Stance, and it would only need probably 2 Sword Stance, and it would just start wrecking face. At 2 Sword Stance, it would Oko Blissey. It wouldn't Oko Lapras, but it would do so much damage to Lapras that I wouldn't be in a position to be able to curse. So Wormadam 2 sucks. That's completely fine. We do not care at all about Wormadam 2. It's not even the correct gender for it to work. And Croconaw 2 sucks too. So we can definitely raise the level of Wormadam Croconaw in the back. Because these are both doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, Wormadam has absolutely no chance against Blissey. And although Croconaw could flinch Lapras, Croconaw is actually slower than Blissey. So it's just incredibly difficult for us to lose. I am worried about Cypher. I'm worried enough that I'm going to drop its level, and I'm going to equip a Bright Powder. Sorry, not Bright Powder, Wide Lens on Garchomp. It is very expensive to do this. It costs 20 CP. However, 20 CP and another 15 for lowering its levels of 35 CP just to beat this Cypher is cheaper than the 50 CP it would cost to skip it. And we don't miss, that's great. We haven't given this Torrent yet, so just thinking, I suppose it's better to send Lapras in. Again, this, in theory, this could flinch Lapras a lot of times, but the fact that Garchomp beats it anyway makes it easy. In fact, I could even Ice Shard this. It only needs 2 flinches from here, I think, to take out Lapras. So I'm going to just rest, I think. Yeah. The thing about Rock Slide is Rock Slide only has 10 PP. Are we outside? I think we're probably outside of double flinch range. So I'm happy to use Curse here. I could even Ice Shard now. Because I think 3 Ice Shards would take out Croconaw from here. But it's safer to rest. The Giga Drain obviously will break the sub. I want to have sub up before Wormadam comes out. I think I'll leave Lapras at +4 though. That gives 12 PP. That's enough to use Curse 6 times in 2 future games. And since Croconaw is out of PP, it will be starting to use Crunch and Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail does do a lot more in Torrent, but the AI misreads Lapras's ability a lot. It thinks it could have Water Absorb, which means that Water moves against Lapras are about half as happen about half as much as they should. 1002. Got 7 more to go. The biggest cause of a loss here would be a misclick. I have misclicked onto battle before healing before. I guess that's my biggest fear. So funnily enough, Fortress has shown up, which also has an accuracy reducing move, so I might actually keep the wide lens on guard jump. It is rare, but it does happen. This is Glalie 2. And 136, 136. It's Bronzong. Bronzong 4 is also a pain. So I was a bit confused when I saw Fortress and Glalie together because I couldn't think about what trainer runs Steel, Bug, and Ice, but then I realised on Bronzong 4 this is a PI. The trainer class will be a PI because it's got 3 Pokemon of Explosion. I dislike Bronzong 4 because of how it can flinch Lapras and Blissey with Quick Claws. I might lower its level. Fortress 4 has no chance against Garchomp. And even if it did, I can just have Blissey handle it for a bit. So what I'm thinking of is, because this is Levitate, I think Glalie wins this. No. I think Bronzong wins the switching decision between Glalie and Fortress and Bronzong because Bronzong is Steel type, which is the same type as Fortress. Yeah, so I can Sword Stance Earthquake Fortress. I think it might be better to Sword Stance twice, and then I can Outrage Bronzong. I think I need to lower Bronzong's level just to be completely safe, though. Glalie will never beat Lapras. Bronzong is a small threat to the team. At level 45, it's so much more manageable. I could also drop Fortress's level. I don't see a need to do that, though. I think I'm going to go for the double Sword Dance Earthquake. It would be slightly better in other contexts to Sword Dance and Earthquake twice against Fortress, because I might want the damage already on it for Seismic Toss, so that Seismic Toss can take it out. I'm still thinking about this in my mind. I'm still undecided on if I want to use Sword Dance once or twice against Fortress. A problem with using it once is that when I bring it on low HP, it can start to want to explode. I'm thinking that... I knew it was BI. I'm thinking that the Sword Stance into Earthquake might be better. If it explodes on one of the other two, that's actually okay, because I can just sub on them. Well, there's the crit. Okay. So it did 134 there. Took just over 44 recoil. I'm not sure if Earthquake is guaranteed here, but I'm definitely going to use it. I could also use Sub. But Sub would just be wasting time if it uses Earthquake. I think I'm going to have to Earthquake myself, yeah. Interesting, so it does default to the order. The fact that Bronzong is the same type doesn't matter. The only reason I'm thinking here is, although Outrage and Earthquake both kill, if I Earthquake I can save Garchomp. I'm just thinking, do I even want to save Garchomp, or I just want to get damage off on Bronzong? We'll go for the Outrage, because I think I'd be staying in and using Outrage anyway against this. For a second I thought that was a crit. That's nice. That looks like a seismic range to me. it did get the quick claw. I'm actually glad that that flinched because it means that I can get a chance to win at full. I'm going to have to use minimize. This might take a little bit of time. The fact that it has quick claw means it could activate the quick claw on the seismic toss turn. So I had to wait until the substitute was already up at the beginning of the turn to make sure that Blissey didn't need healing. So Garchomp fainted there, but Garchomp will be brought back to life at 1 HP. This is Tentacruel 4. It's completely fine, obviously. Garchomp's happy to see that. This is Gliscor 4. Less fine. Zoom lens, Ampharos, isn't it? I am tempted to drop Gliscor's level, heal Garchomp, and have Garchomp try and win. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. It's just a bit faster. Obviously, Lapras can set up on Gliscor, so there's no risk. Send Gliscor to 45. We need to leave Tentacruel here because otherwise it's faster at level 50. And Amphi can be leveled up. So I want to heal Garchomp. What do I want to equip on Garchomp? I'm going to be Swords Dancing on Gliscor or Ampharos, whatever comes in second. Ah, it's going to be Ampharos actually, isn't it? I shouldn't have raised Ampharos' level. I'm going to have to blindly Earthquake Ampharos then. And risk the Focus Blast crit. It's not a real risk though because Ice Shard will take out Ampharos even if it survives the Earthquake. Yes, this is a roll. Let's see what happens. There's no reason to Swords Dance first. Just wasting PP on Swords Dance. That's Latios. Latios, Gallade. Gallade also faints to an Outrage without a Choice Band equipped. Bright Powder is annoying. Gardevoir 3 will come in before Gallade because Latios is specially based. Latios does way more damage with Psychic, which is what it will see on Gardevoir, than with Zen Headbutt, which is what it sees on Gallade. Garchomp does OHKO Gardevoir with Outrage at least. How much health does Garchomp have? 111. We're probably outside of Psychic range from Gardevoir anyway. And as I mentioned in the intro, Blissey is fast in Gardevoir. So it is not significant risk. I do not really want to face Gallade 1 without something set up. I guess Blissey would already be set up. I don't really want to face Gallade 1 though. Wait, I've got Wide Lentil equipped, haven't I? Okay, so Bright Powder shouldn't be a factor. Okay, I'm much happier about going into this battle then. We can't raise Latios' level because it becomes faster. We don't want to raise one of the other two either because they will both survive at level 55, I think. So a Psychic crit from Gardevoir onto Garchomp would be annoying. It would have to get a 1% miss, though, from Outrage first. And Garchomp gets a free turn Outrage. That's great. Very close to the record now. Jolteon set free. It's funny, all of these Pokemon with accuracy hacks items that Garchomp wants to face are showing up. It feels strange just after I've bought Wide Lens, which is an unusual purchase to put on Garchomp. That is Flareon Run, right, isn't it? Yes. This is an Evolution trainer almost certainly. That's Glaceon 2. Garchomp can definitely face off against Jolteon. No concern about that. No concern about the Flareon also. Because a Quick Claw, I suppose Quick Claw superpower after Shadow Ball does take out Garchomp. However, Jolteon is quite likely to Rain Dance on turn 1. It's got heavy incentivization. Flareon 1 is a little bit of a problem for the back two because of the superpower curse combination. I might drop Flareon's level. It seems silly, but I am just aware that I suppose even at level 45, I suspect a +1 superpower could probably OHKO Blissey. That's scary. Although superpower only has 5 PP, and I suppose in that scenario I'd always be getting curse up. And for Garchomp to faint, it would have to use curse. It would have to use superpower. I'm sorry, against Garchomp. Quick Claw superpower crit against Garchomp is what I'm scared of. That's a very... And then Lapras would come in and get curses up. You know what? Because we're so close to the record, I'm just going to drop its level, and I don't want to, because I don't want to miss something. The fact that that's Baton Pass doesn't matter. So we'll take out Jolteon. I'm not scared of that, although I probably will heal Garchomp. At level 45, I think I'm very confident about Lapras being Flareon at level 45. Again, we can match its boosts. We're only scared of it getting ahead in boosts. Thanks, Dreamblade. We're only scared of it getting ahead of boosts. Glaceon 2 can be annoying, but we don't lose to it. Do need to heal Garchomp though. So yeah, I'm on the lookout for a 1% miss with the Lax and Sense combination. It didn't use Rain Dance. It's a bit unlucky. It's Glaceon first. What's difficult about this is that I really do not want Blissey in against Flareon, I think. It would be much better for me right now to go to Blissey, but I don't think I want it in. I don't trust the evasion. The fact is that Flareon could just be using Curse on Blissey. So we'll send Lapras in. This might take a very long time. I want to knock it out of range where it can be using Double Team. I can do that now, perhaps. I need to attack it right now. If it's gonna, okay, it's gonna stay up then. So we'll go up to +6. We can attempt to win with Ice Shard now. Snow Cloak and +6 evasion makes it very unlikely for us to hit a move, but we can hold out hope. If we waste too much PP, we might have to go to Blissey anyway. I should have been counting Ice Beams. Well, that's free, at least. It can use Yawn. Okay. I'm going to rest then. When it's out of Ice Beam, I can try and take it out with Garchomp. I have not been counting though. I will know when it's out of Ice Beam for sure when it stops using Ice Beam or Yawn. So basically when it starts to do useless moves, I will know that it's out. How much PP do I need on Ice Shard for Flareon? I suspect I need 2. Yeah, I think I'll 2 it, KO it. To be safe, I'll leave 6. So we'll give Lapras another 16 turns of trying to kill it. Yeah, so Yawn and Ice Beam together have 20 PP. It just used Double Team, didn't it? Let me see if it does that again. Okay, so it's using Double Team, which means it's out of Ice Beam, it's out of Yawn. We can go to Garchomp. We are taking damage. We're taking damage from Hail, but it's fine if we're in superpower range from Quick Claw. We only need +2, I'm pretty sure. At +2 we will OHKO. I guess it's better to use Outrage. It did get it. Oh my god, it got it. It didn't use superpower. Of course it's disincentivized to use superpower at high HP anyway. Okay, 2 more battles to equal the record. Glalie 4, which does run Sheer Cold, I'm very aware. I'm definitely going to lower that level. Heatran 4, so it's a set 4 trainer. It's Donphan 4, I think. It's a PI trainer, I think, because I suppose it could be a set 4 trainer, but these all have explosion or OHKO moves. I always have to drop Donphan's level unless I know that Lapras is already set up, which it won't be here. So I have to lower Donphan's level to stop Fisher from working, and I'm going to have to lower Glalie's level as well, so that Sheer Cold doesn't work. Heatran is completely fine to leave at 50. What's going to happen here is that Blissey's going to come in and set up against Glalie, and then Blissey probably wins. Just thinking, if Blissey comes in and loses to Donphan, I can then set up Lapras on Donphan, and then even if Heatran somehow beats Lapras, do I need more PP? I don't think so. I'll have a look at that in a second. Just thinking out loud that the plan is going to be Blissey beats Glalie, and then I assume I get bad luck. Donphan beats Blissey. I'd have to go to Lapras. Lapras can beat Donphan. Let's say Heatran beats Lapras, but then Heatran has no way of getting through Garchomp anyway. So I do need to check PP. What would be funny is if somehow I missed so many Seismic Toss that stayed alive for it, but I don't need that. 18 Ice Shard PP is more than enough to take out Donphan, which is the only thing that Lapras needs to do. So yeah, we have enough PP on these. It's incredibly likely that Blissey wins this solo. Even if it throws Blissey, we can just switch. So I'm just going to disrespect it. And until I see it use Hail, I'm just going to use Minimize. It's not completely disrespect though, because I do want to save PP on substitute. Substitute is the most important move to have PP. And Dark Pulse will free shot the sub. We didn't get a Lax Incense miss there. Or there. That breaks the sub. It's got Ice Body, it's healing just enough. We'll go back up to full now. Another +5. Yep, you're right. Just thinking about the Don Fan matchup. You do not need to be at full health against Don Fan. Heatran comes in anyway. That's not surprising because it has Explosion, of course. Heatran will break the sub if it hits it with Magma Storm. No, it doesn't. Okay, this is over. Blissey was probably above average luck there, but that is a small demonstration of just how hard it is to lose when Blissey gets an opportunity to set up. But this is to equal the record. It's Miss Magius. That's Quick Claw Muck. I hate Quick Claw Muck. Always surprisingly bulky, and that's... Is that a 21 IV Golduck? Yeah, it is. It's a 21 IV trainer. Miss Magis 4 is a pain. It's faster. No, it's not faster. It's 21 IV. It's I can leave it at level 50 actually. Second and third opponent hasn't updated yet. Oh, hold on. Let me just put on Charmander. Fuck. Ah, what's going wrong with that? Let's do Dom Fan. Wait, what did I say it was? It's not Dom Fan, it's Golduck. I was using it. I was looking at the OBS overlay. So let me just check that's correct. Miss Magius, Muck, Golduck. Yeah, that's correct. We'll outrage Miss Magius. Muck is a bit of a nuisance. I'm considering dropping Muck's level. I'm gonna have to look into outrage. If it's a if it's a 3-turn outrage, Golduck will come in and finish off Garchomp. And Golduck is slower than Blissey though, at a 21 IV set. So Blissey does get a full setup. I don't think there's any risk there then. I need Garchomp to survive a Shadow Ball crit, which I will need to heal for, I think. I'm a little bit nervous about the Muck. I don't want Muck to Quick Claw crit Blissey. I'm going to lower Muck to 45 so that Blissey will survive the Quick Claw Brick Break crit against it at full health. It's the most I can do against that. I could even drop Golduck's level so that Garchomp has a chance to take it out with Outrage. Yeah, so I can. It would take a while. I can outstall Mismagius. Blissey alone can outstall Mismagius. Yeah, so one other option for this battle is that Blissey would completely stall out Mismagius and then Lapras could set up on it. We're going to go for a more Unga Bunga strategy, I think. Yeah, so Hydro Pump won't break Blissey's sub without a crit. I might even... you know what, I'm going to wait for the sub to break so I get a full sub up against Muck. I want it to break the sub here. There we go. So the aim here is that we need to hit it with free Seismic Toss so that it's in Ice Shard range. Yeah. So that's equal to record. Literally one more battle. That was a really weird set with the... I'm locking in. I'm losing a lot of points here by playing too safe. That's fine. One more win. One thing I almost did, I did this a long time ago, I almost forgot to equip Leftovers for the first match. What's funny though is that Blissey is so strong that it didn't matter. That's Shuckle too, that's hilarious. Technician. Is that Sizzle 2? Because it's max but def. What runs Troupple? Oh, it must be a set 2 because it refers to a set 2. I think it's Probopass. Yeah. Okay, this is a this is a really funny match to get the record on. Garchomp gets a full setup against Shuckle in a way that Shuckle cannot block at all, and then Garchomp destroys the last two. So it's a really easy win, which is fine. Yeah, this is completely trivial. In fact, we forgot we can actually raise level of everything. This is completely free. We don't even need a full setup. We probably need, I suppose, because I've boosted Sizzle, we might need to get +4. There's no item on Garchomp. We don't need an item here. I think we need +4 to get Sizzle every single time. In fact, we need +6 to get Shuckle, so we might as well just go for +6. Did I misclick? Yeah, I misclick. Okay, nice. Nice throw on the record match. Cool. Oh my god, that's it. Oh, it's taken like over a month. Oh, I feel so relieved. Oh my god. That's cool. It's a new record. Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for being here. Do I go back to playing normally? Or am I just gonna chill on this final one? That's Lantern 2. Lantern 2 is another trivial setup. It's the wrong... This is an Empoleon set. So this could be Empoleon 1 or Empoleon 2. I'll show it on stream. Because it's Lantern 2, it's more likely to be Empoleon 2. It's more likely to be a set 2 trainer. Let's see, what is this? Ah, this is the Drifblim set. So it probably is Empoleon 2. So I suppose what we'll do is we'll sub on Lantern. 2K is going to take a while. I've got another team lined up, which I think I might play. Not because it's better, just because it's different. Because I think I'm starting to get complacent. I don't think I can do 999. I think that will take too long. What we'll do is... Are we at any risk of Aquajet? I don't think so. I think I might go to 9999 points. I think that's the limit. To get to 99 points, I'll have to play a bit better than I have been for the last 100 games. I'm not being so scared of goes. So Lantern's the wrong gender here. We do not need to heal. I'm going on holiday next week anyway, so I have to take a break for that because I'll be streaming the entire streak no matter what I do, even if I just abandon it. I've got a battle tower team ready to go, which I think can get the record, and that isn't mind-numbing. What was I going to do? I equipped Citrus, so I survive a crit dive into a crit Aquajet. Did I boost all of these? I did. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So Citrus is cheaper than healing. Costs 5. I thought it might do this. No crit. Okay, it's over. So this will be 48 castle points. Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, the event is over. Thanks for tuning in. It's 49. Why is it 49? Because I thought I used 5 PP in that fight, and Garchomp wasn't full health. That should be -1/-1 from the theoretical total of 50. I suppose it doesn't matter. I don't like Aerodactyl 3. Aerodactyl 3 is what defeated this team in the previous run. It got 4 flinches in a row. So it's a set 3 trainer. Yeah. I suppose I probably have to drop Aerodactyl's level. We can raise up Magnezone. Need to drop Aero so we're faster. It's a little bit dangerous to... Oh yeah, thanks Dreamblade. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to wrap up this round and then probably that's going to be it for Castle for today. It's a little bit dangerous to attack this Scizor with Outrage blankly. which is what I would be doing if I have to outrage the Aerodactyl. It's strange to say, but it's safe to... I think it might be safer to raise Scizor than to leave it alone. But what's even safer than increasing its level is decreasing its level, surely? Thanks, Valentina. Yeah. Well, I've played this team a lot. I should be quite good at it. I'm considering raising this Scizor out of safety, so that it gets a weaker reversal. I mean, what's the max damage I would do with Outrage if Outrage crit? Oh, I'm quite nervous now. I feel like it's wrong. Go over your entire prep plan before doing part of it already. You mean like explain it more? I do a lot of thinking in my head. And I'm aware that when I'm doing commentary, I leave a lot of things out, and I also slow myself down. I mean, to be as broad as possible. To be as broad as possible, the Magnezone, even at level 55, it won't break Blissy's sub, so it is an option to go for a Blissey fight here. The fact that I've raised it doesn't actually matter. I'm a little bit nervous of the Charge Beam AI, though. Yeah, I did not, because I only caught myself at the end thinking how much damage an Outrage crit would do against Scizor. I can lower levels as well. So let's say I regret this, I can just lower again. The limit is 45 and 55 though. I think it's fine. My intuition was that a crit on Scizor was fine, and I think that's still true. Because we're 182, it's 120. That's a 1.5 factor. Outrage is a base 48 power move at level 50, which means the max roll of Outrage is going to be about 60. It's going to be about, yeah, it's going to be about 20% more than that. Let's say it was 62, and let's say it crit. That would bring Scizor. So Scizor is 70 HP base. So Scizor is 145 HP. So that would be 21 over 145, which is still the weaker reversal range. So at that range, reversal is a free shot on Lapras, which means that I can actually just directly curse on reversal, and Lapras is safe. And if it does that much damage anyway, then I suppose what's complicated is that Ice Shard will power up reversal, so I do have to curse twice. Interesting. I'm just caught. It's interesting. I was going to just lower its level and just be done with it, but it might be safe to raise its level on Scizor. I mean, the thing is, even a max power reversal will not take out Lapras if it's at level 45, so I can just lower it. It's fine. You know what's funny? I can equip a muscle band. I've never done that before this one. I could equip a muscle band. I don't think it's necessary though. Okay, so is it half? The safest thing to do here probably is just to let Garchomp faint. But I could. There's two options here. I can either let Garchomp faint, or I can switch out and not give it a Salac. I think we'll just go for it because I know that Lapras can set up safely against it. Garchomp is quite a lot lower now. It's in range of being in danger. This is Licky Licky Free. Licky Licky Free is was a close call about 600 battles ago, where it had the opportunity to get a roll on Lapras, which would have forced me. What would it would have forced something on the final Mon, which wasn't guaranteed. There's a small chance to lose. That's Hippo. Yeah, I've learned my lesson against a Licky Licky Frito when it comes to giving it too much time to be ahead of Lapras in Curse Wars. I've also learned my lesson on Hippo Free in terms of not letting it do too much damage. Yeah. So obviously, for thought process, a +2 Outrage is very likely to take out Licky Licky. Crobat really struggles to do anything. It's just the Sludge Bomb poison, which is an issue, because although it does terrible damage against both Lapras and Blissey, once it's got a poison up, the damage does start to increment. And at level 50, Sludge Bomb will break Lapras's sub. And obviously all of this means that I'd rather take it out with Garchomp. Hippowdon 3 is a problem for a lot of reasons. The biggest one is Fissure. But also, obviously Sandstream turns off the leftovers. So I do have to lower this. Now, if I Sword Stance on Licky Licky and it gets off a curse and then it crits return, this whole scenario is actually fine, because what comes out of that is that effectively we'll have done over 140 damage to Licky Licky. It's got 217 HP. It'll be outside of Seismic Toss range, but it won't be at a high enough health total to beat Lapras and Blissey together. I would not want to face Crobat and Hippowdon with Lapras alone, though. All of that together essentially means that we have to drop its level. Because at level 45, we are no longer worried about the curse into the return crit against Garchomp. Crobat free, we can leave at level 50. It would be excessively safe to drop its level, because Lapras can 4-hit KO it with Ice Shard. Absolute worst case scenario. And at level 45, Hippowdon actually can't beat Blissey, so long as I use Substitute intelligently. So I can leave that at level 50. This could be an expensive battle in terms of how much it might cost to heal afterwards. Considering equipping a Citrus Berry on Garchomp. Not because it makes a difference in how likely I am to win, it just makes a difference in Garchomp's ability to do a lot more damage. Now, if it doesn't curse turn 1, I can actually Earthquake it. Okay, it does. I need to go for the damage then. It might have been better to equip a Persian Berry, actually. So if Crobat free last, there's no chance of losing, but the fastest way to win would be for Garchomp to take this out. It's a double flinch. No, triple flinch. Is that Manectric 4? Because it's timid. It's a 21 IV one though, isn't it? This is a 21 IV trainer. And that's Quagsire. Set 421 IV is quite a common trainer class in the Gen 4 Frontier. Is this Shiftry free? No. I'm not sure what this is. Let me have a quick look. Focus Band Chlorophyll. Ah, it's Victory Bell, isn't it? I've got you covered. No problem. Yeah. This battle, interesting one. By interesting, I mean it's not going to be interesting. It's going to be very easy to win. I'm just thinking about the easiest way to win. I think I'll take advantage of the fact that Garchomp is faster than Manectric and just go for the Earthquake. If we get horrendous luck, I know that Blissey will never lose to Manectric. And I also know that Lapras will never lose to Quagsire. And then I also know that Blissey will never lose to Victory Bell. So because I know that these three in the back are covered completely by Lapras and Blissey, it's more a question of what I want to do to try and make sure that Garchomp can win solo. I think to do that, Garchomp needs to probably go back. We only need +2 to get Quagsire. Garchomp will have to go back to full and get its citrus back. Actually, you know what? It doesn't need citrus. It doesn't. It's just a waste of points. Because if Manectric does anything, it will be Signal Beam Confusion. Do I want to? I can't sub though. I think Signal Beam will break the sub. Amazing. It does get the Signal Beam Confusion. Okay, I'm going to go through Blissey then. I still want to get a win with Garchomp if I deal. Okay, no Signal Beam Confusion this time, so it needs to get a Bright Powder Mist right now. Amazing. Why do I speak these things into existence? The Bright Powder Mist, the Signal Beam Confusion. Okay, we don't miss the last attack at least. And Garchomp does win. Citrus would have made a small difference there. That's Lucario for... Lucario 4 can be a big problem in games where I can't guarantee Garchomp staying alive, but obviously when it's in the lead position, I can guarantee Garchomp being able to face it. Metagross 4 is also a nasty set. I think we'll have to drop the level on Metagross. Metagross is safely handled by Lapras, but only at level 45. At level 55 or level 50, there is a risk that we get a chain of Meteor Mash attack boosts as Lapras is trying to set up. I'm expecting... The thing is, I said I was going to expect... Based on what we saw in the previous game, I am expecting Claydol to come in before Metagross. I'm just evaluating right now in my head. I'm thinking about how bad it would be to have Blissey set up against Claydol as Metagross comes in compared to the alternative. And if that means I need to PP stall the Claydol or attempt to set up on the Claydol. If I attempt the setup against the Claydol, I'll have to drop its level. Because the Rock Slide flinch chance against Lapras is too close. Another factor here is that Garchomp does not OHKO a level 45 Metagross. So bringing up Lucario, taking Metagross down. I think we're taking Claydol down. Be safe. The fact that Blissey isn't at perfectly full health does not matter. So if I switch Lapras in the Claydol, it would need 4 flinches. I'm expecting. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure why it's gone Metagross first this time, but we will take this opportunity to Earthquake it. I'm pretty sure that is Ice Shard range. There's no way Ice Shard would do so little. So it gets a Quick Claw, but it doesn't get a crit. It doesn't get an attack boost. I think there's a chance we can kill this right now without Rage. I'm not sure what the roll is. It doesn't really matter. Okay, we did miss it. That's fine. Because if we can hit this with Ice Shard now, we've saved a lot of PP and time. Nice. Probably the final match of today. That's Articuno 2. Thanks, Valentino. I think it's enjoyable in small stretches. I'm not sure anyone would want to watch too much of the same team playing again and again and again. Chesto, Regirock, free. This is a fun one to end on. Actually, it's not. I was going to say it's a fun one to end on because this is a simple win for Lapras, but it's not. I think Regigigas does enough damage with Focus Blast. We'd be at... Let me think about this. How fast does Lapras kill Regigigas? It'll have 217 HP. 130 defense. At +6, we'd be getting a free hit KO. So we are safe, we just are vulnerable to a single attack. And Regirock will waste all its PP on Lapras. I just need to be careful here that Lapras has enough PP to... Yeah, it is like that for a lot of streaks. I just need to be careful that Lapras has enough PP to completely dominate the match. Oh yeah, we have max PP. Okay, that's fine. No reason to heal Garchomp. This Articuno literally does nothing against Lapras. Am I feeling brave enough to increase Regirock's level? I'm actually not. Because the perfect combination for Regirock to do would be to curse 4 times into rest. At that point, I would no longer be able to KO it with Ice Shard unless I get like a huge crit or something. And we would be talking about a Regirock who can break the sub with Stone Edge. It would need to get to +6 to break the sub with Hammer Arm, but it can do that. That's safe at level 50. It's not safe at level 55. I do maintain Garchomp as well throughout all of that, and I maintain Blissey. Okay, so for safety, we might have to heal Garchomp then, because that gives us another. That means it takes 4 PP for Regirock to kill Garchomp, and then Blissey will be forced to waste at least 5 PP. So even if it's at +6, it will take 9 PP to get through Blissey and Garchomp, and it can never take out Lapras without using at least 8, I think, because I'll be guaranteed at least the first 2 rest cycles. Okay, so that's safe. In fact, I could even raise this level because of that, but I'm going to leave it. Just double check that I've got the sets right. Articuno, Regigigas 3, Regirock 3. Hey Diana. I've got the new record. So we'll go to +6. One other factor I need to keep in mind. I do not want to KO Articuno while Reflect is still up, because then Regigigas will be able to beat Lapras. So a crit Ice Shard will never, even though crit goes through the Reflect, crit Ice Shard does a maximum of like 70% probably. So we're actually going to have to waste a turn here. It's really important that we don't KO Articuno while Reflect is up, because at that point Regigigas could get through Lapras. Okay, and we'll have to wait another few turns now. We'll wait on Curse. Okay, good. Now we can go back to Ice Shard. This might not KO. I think will be good. Yeah, nice. It's actually Regirock in first. This is also fine, because Blissey will never lose to Regigigas. But we might be looking at a huge stall war here. So it's used double curse. I did say if it used 4 curse in a row, that's optimal. It's used 3 curse in a row. It's doing very well to resist the urge to Stone Edge. Stone Edge is massively encouraged here because it's a super effective move with a high critical hit chance. It's very likely to go up to +1 or +2 priority, but it has got its curses. So we're now waiting on Lapras to either crit or for Regirock to play this out wrong. So it's a +3. We do have to respect the Stone Edge. And we are slower. This is painful. We're going to have to stay on substitute then until Stone Edge is gone. Okay, we're at -6. And it's at -5, isn't it? This is a speed tie. That's hilarious. This is a speed tie. That's really bad. I didn't consider this. So at 5 curses with a speed tie, I suppose we just have to hedge our bets and go on sub. The reason why this is bad is because it can interrupt the rest chain. Yeah, it can interrupt the rest chain. We're forced to rest here. We're forced to rest here, but it could be faster. How much PP is it used? It's used 2. If I rest and I go first, it could KO Lapras. With all of the hammer arm PP intact. Oh, that would be bad. Huh, am I going to lose? Am I going to lose this? I'm specifically worried about losing this speed tie right now. It's at +5. I'm pretty sure we're in KO range at +5. If I do not rest here, I can't sub. If it goes first, I can't sub. If I don't rest right now, and it wins a speed tie next turn, it's over. What I'm tempted to do, because you might be thinking, what's the alternative? What I'm tempted to do is just send Garchomp in right now. Because if I send Garchomp in right now, it'll eat the Stone Edge. Even if Stone Edge crits Garchomp, Lapras comes back in. Lapras isn't set up, but Lapras does get to use 3 more substitutes. Is that better than Garchomp using 3 substitutes, though? I don't think so. I didn't realise this would be a speed tie. That's so awkward. It's used, yeah, it's used 2 Stone Edge. Stone Edge could be a free hit KO. It's possible. I'm going to have to rest, though. It's more efficient to rest now, and Garchomp will be using sub. I'm so glad I healed Garchomp. I'm going to have to rest now. On the speed tie. I can't afford to lose a speed tie next turn. Okay, it's no longer a speed tie, it's at +6. With Stone Edge is a free hit KO, but it's wasted a turn of sleep. So Lapras will wake up before it's able to free hit KO, so we win. Okay, the danger's over, we win. It doesn't matter that you use Hammer Arm there. Yeah. Stone Edge can't 2-shot Lapras. So we are faster, we wake up now, and we get to waste this PP. Yeah, we get to waste at least, even if that hit, we would have wasted at least 5 more PP. I don't know why I do this. Why didn't I just level down Regirock? This would have been that's funny, that's a crit. This would have been trivial. I suppose it was what was really unlucky is the fact that it used 5 curse before it used a single Hammer Arm. Because at 4 curse we were not at risk of being pre-hit KO'd. Okay, I know it doesn't have enough PP to win anymore. And it'll have it must maintain at least 4 curse for the end, and those 4 curses will be enough for Blissey to take it out with Seismic Toss. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. The speed tie. I'm just gonna play it extra safe, just make it waste all the hammer on PP. I think it's out of hammer arm. I am not confident enough to switch though. There's no need to actually count this. Okay. Yeah, we only need 3 ice shards to take out Regigigas. So we might as well fish for the double crit here. The alternative is that we don't attack and it will just waste the rest PP at full health. Which does waste turns faster. We're going to let it use rest at full health for a bit. It's going to waste all of its rests. It's on curse now. Okay, it's out of rest. It's a funny time to go crit. So yeah, we free shot this Regigigas. And it can't even use Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt doesn't overlap with Focus Blast. It has to use Focus Blast. And we're completely safe. That's an interesting final battle. I'm impressed that I know it's random or semi-random. I'm impressed that the AI played Regirock perfectly. I dismiss these things as being too unlikely to happen, but I shouldn't. Shouldn't have. I should have more respect for the AI's ability to perfectly play out possible win scenario. Ah, yeah, I saw that flip flop. I saw you mention that it has a localization record. I suppose it's an understandable one. I don't really pay attention to BP. I think I'm pretty sure I'm sitting at pretty sure I'm sitting at 999. Yeah. I wish I could play arcade, but I can't play arcade because I'm on emulator. And it would be too much of an advantage for me to have control of the emulator speed. I think. Maybe I'll find a way of finding the correct speed so I can play arcade. But until I do that, I won't be playing that. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll leave it there. I might play later today, but it won't be.